Welcome back, my beautiful podcast listeners. This is your host, Jakeb Livengood. This is Living Good with Jakeb Livengood. So, this one I'm actually really excited to talk about. This is a little bit of a fitness motivation, discipline esque conversation. It is the first day of quarter four right now. For those of you that aren't involved in business, quarter four, the last 3 months of the fiscal year, the calendar year is broken up into 4 quarters for business production. It's how they track their KPIs. And today's the first one of quarter four. And that's a big thing. It's a big deal, right? Because, like, let me explain the average, right? Most people, and maybe this is you, maybe, there's a lot of holidays coming up, a lot, and normal people actually sort of let off the gas come these back 3 months of the year, and they're like, I'll let it slide, I'll go easy, slow down. But actually, I'd like to challenge you, and you may have heard this floating around social media, the winter arc, right? What's the winter arc? You've probably heard about it. Maybe you haven't, and maybe this is the first time you're hearing about it. I love that for you, okay? The winter arc. You see, as most people are letting off the gas, relaxing, getting prepared to, it's winter. I'm going to cozy up, put on my oversized clothes, overindulge in some of the things that I love, right? That's fine and dandy. You can do that. But I want to challenge you to do the exact opposite. Lock in even harder than you have for the rest of the year, right? Start being disciplined to a level that you haven't even considered, not necessarily just this year, but your entire life, right? If you get up at 6 in the morning for work, start getting up at 4 in the morning and go walk 2 miles before you actually get ready and get prepared to go to work. Okay. Perhaps you work for yourself. Perhaps you get up at 8 a.m. and you just have your whole day for you, and you're liking your schedule so far. What if you got up at 3:30, 4 a.m., went to the gym, incorporated some new structure to your day that you haven't been doing thus far that is helpful? It's going to help you grow in several different disciplines, but at the same time, it's not necessarily easy, right? It'd be easier to not do some of the things that some of us high achievers out here are doing on a daily basis. I don't need to get up at 4 a.m. I don't need to go to the gym for 2.5 to 3.5 hours a day, every single day, 7 days a week without any days off. I don't need to sit in 33-degree water for 5 minutes a day. Okay. I don't need to track every calorie that's going into my body and making sure that I'm hitting 1 gram of protein per pound of desired body weight and being in a caloric deficit every day. I don't need to do any of these things, but I'm doing them, and I'm doing them because I like what discipline makes me become. And that right there is the actual catalyst. That's the difference maker for most people, because to become a high achiever, you have to be disciplined. You have to make sacrifices that the average person isn't making over an extended period of time. And that's not lovely, right? It's like, dreary. I don't want to do that. And that's how it is when you start. I mean, everybody's like that. I was like that. Hated it, man. By the way, when I started my fitness journey, I was 246 pounds and 34.5% BMI. That was in February of 2023. I was clinically obese. Okay. And so, like, I learned to love, at first, I didn't love it. Like, I was going to the gym. I had to go to the gym. That was the mindset behind it. I have to go to the gym. And then I don't even know when it happened, but somewhere along there, and it might have been a couple months actually. I'm not sure when it happened, but at some point along the last 19 months, I was like, I love this. I wouldn't have it any other way. Yes, it's hard getting up at 4 in the morning. Yes, it's hard pushing my physical body to the limits of its capability every single day. Yes, it's difficult, but I like the trajectory that it's put my life on. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I don't want to relax. I don't want to be lax. I don't want to be average. I'm allergic to average. I want to be the top 1 percentile for everything that I do, right? My sheer indefatigability coupled with my, I don't even know the quote. I don't have it memorized. Sandy. Andrew Tate. It's awesome. So, guys, I want to urge you to try this winter arc thing, right? Put your phone on do not disturb 24 hours a day. Lock into a schedule, right? Do things every day that aren't necessarily fun, but you know that they are fulfilling, right? Not fun, but fulfilling. And by fulfilling, because some people will be like, well, I'm fulfilled by fun, right? Which is okay. But what I mean by fulfilling is like it moves you towards your goals, your overarching vision for your life. And if you don't have an overarching vision for your life, start there. Okay? So, but the winter arc, man, it's the time to lock in. I don't know how familiar you guys are with micro macroeconomics and tax law. A little bit of a different conversation, sort of a left turn, but we are just like in the Matrix when Morpheus says to Neo, and by the way, it's in the Bible too that the truth will set you free. But uh, Morpheus says to Neo, I am here to show you the truth, and the truth will set you free. And Neo says, well, what's the truth? And Morpheus says, the truth is that you're a slave and you were born into these shackles. And it's become so accustomed to you that you don't even know. And why I'm saying all this is because I don't know if you're aware of this, but because of the modern day tax structure that we live under, we are all slaves. Okay? Did you know that? Run the numbers, do the math. Okay? It's bad. We have to work until the end of July. Anybody that has a W 2 income as their primary source of income, okay? You're working until the end of July before a single penny is put into your pocket. Like it's not that great, guys. Okay? You're a slave. And by the way, the only way you're going to escape these shackles is by building up a 5 to 9 outside of your 9 to 5, a side hustle that you can eventually learn through discipline and through higher learning of this skill set, learn to scale it beyond your 9 to 5, quit your 9 to 5 and go all into it. And now you are running your own company, preferably not financial advice, do your own research, structured as a multi-member S corp in a state that has good tax liabilities and tax benefits. We can do a whole different episode on that. Obviously, do your own research, not financial advice, right? And now you're getting your primary income from a 1099 and you can actually deduct expenses from your earnings. And now you're no longer a slave and now you own what you do fully, completely. Okay. Now, why this ties into the winter arc is because actually a lot of the people that you'll see locking into discipline on a new level, they're entrepreneurs, right? Is there, is that causation or correlation, right? And it's hard to pinpoint that because maybe it's just they're just happenstance correlated, but actually I don't think it's correlation. I think it's causation, right? Because literally, and even still when you are a business owner, you're still sort of in tax slavery if you don't set it up properly and then go ahead and structure things as such through your expenses and through your earnings that you're actually on the up and up and digging yourself out of that hole. And so it's important, right? Because what happens when you're not getting penny one until August, and then you give it a solid 2 months, 60 days. Yep, I'm getting some money, doing good. And then the last 90 days, the last quarter comes around, and you're like, I did it. I did my work. I'll slow down. Another side tangent on this is like, and I'm going to call you out here. Maybe this will trigger your ego. I'm sorry if it does, but also I'm not sorry if it does, because actually getting triggered is how you recognize where you need healing and where you need growth and then confronting that, right? So, you know how on like January 1st, you came up with like a list of goals that you were going to do this year? Yeah, New Year's resolutions. Yeah, yeah, those. Yeah. How are those going for you? Hmm. Because I'll tell you something. Me personally, public accountability statement. I failed every single one except one, which was daily ice baths. But I failed my monthly 72-hour fast sometime around August. Actually, in August, I decided I didn't really need it. I wasn't really in that phase. So Stopped that, and my daily 150 push-ups, I stopped those in July, right? So mine didn't make it all the way through the year. They made it pretty far, right? Over half. Cool. That's cool. But I did fail on my New Year's resolutions. But I made it over half. Here's the thing. Statistically speaking, most people don't make it past January 14th. 2 weeks holding on to those goals. If that's not scary, I don't know what it is. Because, here's the thing with me. Yes, I failed my New Year's resolutions. But if you look at me come January 1st, 2025, compared to January 1st, 2024, I didn't fail anything. I've been more locked in this year than I've been locked in ever. Ever. Last year I did a winter arc, but it wasn't like this. It was not like this. We're taking it to whole new levels. Okay? If you saw my daily agenda, you wouldn't even believe it. Wouldn't even believe it. I'm chock full from 4 a.m. to 9 p.m. when I go to sleep. Every single day, 7 days a week, no days off. I've got bookings out, everything scheduled, time blocked, no extra time, barely have time to eat. I did thaw some chicken and some vegetables. I fry them up real quick, eat clean, done. On to the next thing. Eating, cooking, cleaning, and eating is penciled into my time chart, my agenda. It's insane. I'm going to do a podcast every single day for the rest of the year. I'm going to get up at 4 in the morning every single day. I'm not missing the gym a single time. Okay. And in some days, I'm actually doing training sessions with other individuals where I'm going to the gym twice. And that's also penciled into the schedule. Okay. So I am locked in a different capacity than I ever have been. And what's crazy is like back in, February 23, where my physical body was, not just my physical though, my mindset, my mental, I wouldn't have even been able to do this. Like it wouldn't even been a possibility. And so I urge you to try and lock in. And when I say lock in and do winter arc, what I'm really saying is just challenge your current limits, right? Because you know, if you're where I was starting, right, you're clinically obese, right? Your current physical prowess, your fitness levels currently, like you'd be lucky to get 2,000 steps. You're not walking over half a mile a day, right? It is wildly unfeasible to think that you're going to flip a switch overnight, get up at 4 in the morning, go to the gym for 2 hours a day and do 8 to 10 working sets and burn 1,200 calories, sit in the sauna for 30 minutes, and then come home and walk 4 miles. It's just the leap, the jump from where you're at to where I'm saying in my capacity, in my life, in my process, it's too far, right? Like you could maybe do it for a couple of days, and then your body will be so fizzled out that you'll just be burnt out, gassed out, you'll fail. And you'll set yourself up for failure right off the rip, right? So what I'm saying is based on your goals and what you're trying to accomplish, don't let off the gas for these last 3 months. Lock in at your level of capacity and see what that does for you. Because I can tell you, last year, when I wasn't locked in like this, but I was locked in for the first winter arc of like really, really being dialed in and disciplined, I can tell you I came into January 1st with a vigor that I've never experienced before. Like, and not that like the calendar years, I mean, they're mostly fictitious. It's just to keep track of things. So it's really like just day one every day. But you feel the momentum in your daily endeavors. And it's given me crazy momentum, which then leads to compounded confidence, which then leads to compounded action, which then leads to compounded results and outputs, which then it's just a circle, right? That leads back to more confidence, more execution. It's amazing. And so I want that for you. I really do. I want that for you. And it starts today. It actually starts every day. Like I said, today is day one or one day, and that's up to you. Each person gets that individualized choice. But I'm just wondering, if you don't do it now, when will you do it? Because every day is now, today. Yesterday's gone, tomorrow is coming, Today's all you have. So I urge you to lock in. I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful, blessed day. I love you.